we make sure to create value, right, and make sure that everybody we cause engagement and make sure that participates in this exercise. Is Mr. Toby in the is Mr. Toby on? Okay, Femi, can you give us like a overview, right? Talk about your business, profitability through inventory management. What is inventory management first? What can we explain inventory management to be? What's your view, and from the experience and you dealing with different customers and clients over time? What do you think inventory management is?
All right, thank you very much, Steve. Welcome everybody for dialing at this time. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Femi. Please go on. Thank you.
As is currently projected on the screen, the topic for our discussion this afternoon is enhancing your business profitability through inventory management. It's quite obvious this time around that even if you check the challenges in the economy globally, many businesses are having challenges in making profits in their business. Many businesses are even folding up currently. That's why we need to come up with this topic. And from my experience with our customers, many of them will call in, Femi, please, people will just say that I'm seeking sales, but I can't really say whether I'm making profits. Can you just help me out? That's why we came up with all these devices. Our solution is fit enough. And I've been getting feedback from all these people that our solution is very fit enough for them. And I asked them immensely to be able to get a better profitability from their businesses. That's why we need to come up with this topic at this time around. At least other people as well, I'm afraid we'll be able to benefit and be able to have a better profitability from their operations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's quite interesting, right? When we talk about inventory management and its importance. That businesses are not supposed to take this for granted, right? And they should put this into play and make sure that they make sure that they do proper inventory management. Moving forward, right? What do you think considered management business? What exactly are we managing, right? Inventory management is specific to your type of business, right? And so on. I believe you know better. So can you just give us, an overview? What exactly are we managing, right, in a business?
Asset on its own, and is what every business needs to take very serious. If you check the screen, you see every business is considered important, and ask any form of usefulness to running a business. Majorly, if you have an inventory, is an asset to you, is what to bring in and what to sell on daily basis. It's part of your daily operations through which you are able to generate profit from it. So they are like finished goods, raw materials, office consumables like stationery, cleaning materials, and etc. So like spare part is part of it as well. So I can say these are inventory, and it has to be properly managed. Due to losses that businesses are currently encountering, a lot of losses, privileges are currently happening in the businesses. So I believe all this inventory should be properly managed. If not, it can lead to bankrupt. And if you just imagine a business that went for a loan facility to finance an inventory business, and it's not properly managed, how is it going to be able to service the loan? So I believe this very topic is very important, and inventory is very, very crucial to the extent that it needs to be properly managed. If not, the business can actually fall down.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Femi. You might want to can we like give examples, right? Of course, without practical real life examples, without mentioning names, of businesses that the kind of business and what exactly they are managing, right? In the case of video books, because of Mr. Toby, we say they talk about they distribute different kind of products like rice, oil, and so on. I think that's that kind of business. That's exactly what they put into their inventory, right? And that's exactly what they are managing, right? And I think it's quite clear, right, that everything that a business owner, I have the on the screen, and everything a business owner considers important or as a form of usefulness to run the business. It could be sellable products, finished goods, etc. I can see something here, like you said, like stationery, cleaning materials. How can we add that to inventory? Are we supposed to be managing something that, what's your explanation to that?
A business that is actually into that is a stage, it's an inventory to them, because inventory is a stock which you sell majorly where you generate your daily revenue. So, and definitely all these things have to be properly managed. But at the same time, these days, you don't forget that many businesses have different locations. They can have a branch either on the island, they can have a branch in Lagos, they can have a branch in Abuja. And you as a business owner, you might not be able to run around physically to oversee all these things. So ordinarily from anywhere you are, either you're in Nigeria or outside the country, you should be able to properly manage all these to be able to have a better result for all your efforts.
Thank you very much, Femi. Thank you very much. And I'd like to go on to the next discussion, right? So why is inventory management necessary? A normal business owner just wants to buy goods, right? Just buy goods and sell and make money. But why do we have to go through the stress of inventory management? What is peculiar about this? Why? The question is why? Why should we do this?
All right, thank you very much. If your inventory is not properly managed, you are definitely exposed to losses, you are exposed to privilege, you are exposed to a lot of risk in your business. So I will advise, to be able to if you are able to properly manage your business, you'll be able to have a better profitability from your operations. Number one, it helps to stock, it helps with stock familiarization. I have businesses of multi-millions, which I'm currently dealing with. I'm telling you the reality. I was discussing of recent with a business owner. He did not even know, or he's not even familiar with all the business line, product line that he has in a business.
You said it's a multi-million. How can you
million naira business? Because they import their inventory. It's using the whole platform, telling you the reality. Madam, can you just give me the product line item before I can actually help you out? You just, okay, let me work. Okay, just Femi, please. Let me work on the show first. When we get to the warehouse, we will get familiar with it. So until we come in now, it does not even familiar with the product line that she currently has, and she has invested multi-million naira in such business. Yeah. How do you expect such person to be able to properly manage such business?
Yeah.
That's number one. Yeah. And two, it helps you to be able to make very good business decisions. Ordinarily, I told you earlier on, you as a business owner, majorly before you can be able to make a very good business decision, you should be able to have a reliable report, and the report should be timely, to be at your fingertip every time you need it. If you don't have a good report, you won't be able to have a very good business decision. Just imagine, of recent, there are a lot of check the exchange rates now.
Yeah.
Check your, okay, let's use one scenario, like you are into consumables, and those items, they have expiry dates, sorry.
Okay.
And you don't properly manage it, you just stock your warehouse without considering those dates, and those things due to because they have expired already. So, and most of them, they don't even take record of those items that they even dispose. So it gives us even challenges in terms of reconciling such things. So
okay, so,
if
sorry to cut in. So you mean that you know, when you have, you know, like when you do proper inventory, right, that is able to tell you if your product is about expired, those records, you know, inventory management gives you those records. Is that what you mean?
business, are you going to get profits? So I can say really that for you to properly manage your business, you can't run away from it. There is no excuse to that. It has to be properly done. And I can say you have to be able for you to, and at the same time, you should be able to manage your cash flow. Okay. Cash flow is a lifeline of every businesses. So if not properly managed, how are you going to even be in the business if there is no cash flow? And a lot of working capital can be tied down in the business. So if you properly manage your business, you will know the product line that is actually moving, that is moving. So you know which product line to be able to invest more. Like now you have different product line. Like I currently has a customer as well. He told me, Femi, please, this they have different. I mean, they have different. Coming from a different. I mean, same customer. I mean, same manufacturer, but different species. But this very one, every person that comes into the market must get it because it moves a lot and it is scarce in the market. If they don't get it, they won't buy others. You understand? Just imagine that kind of products. I mean, you can, I told you, I mean, you don't have it again. How are you able to even retain the customer? That's another thing.
Yeah, so well, as mentioning customer retention, is, you know, it has brought me to ask a question like, okay, I'm trying to see the connection between, you know, you keeping proper inventory records and, you know, proper inventory management and, you know, customer retention, right? You know, how does find out, okay, you keep your records or you keep your inventory, you know, properly, right? How does it relate to the fact that you customer retention? Can you like explain more about that point?
Okay, sorry. I think I'll be using I mean, case. I mean, what has happened actually, which I've experienced.
No, of course, practical examples. Thank you, Femi.
Like I have a customer I work in. So she has to quickly go back to a record, a software actually. And from there, checking from what are sold out majorly for that day, discover that no, my sales rep, you make a mistake here. This item has not gone out. Now imagine it doesn't have such. You don't want to make loss. And ordinarily, and you can't confirm that you have not, I mean, delivered this goods to the customer. And the customer still still maintain a standard. Really, you've not, I mean, I can't confirm it. It's not delivered yet, and you are continuing arguing with such customer. Don't you think you will lose such customer?
Yes.
Exactly. So it helps you to be able to retain your customer. That's a very good advantage of it. And at the same time, it helps you to be able to cutting warehouse costing. That's storage costing. Like a lot of storage costs are being incurred. I have customers, they are into event planning. A lot of goods, a lot of items that are not even relevant anymore. They still keep it there. I mean, it's occupying spaces. And don't forget, and funnily enough, they are paying rents for those items that are not even relevant again, that they cannot even go out with it to decorate events anymore. So by being they'll be able to manage their inventory properly. They will know which one to be able to even sell out and to be able to improve their cash flow and get the new one to be able to boost their profitability. That's another advantage of inventory management.
Thank you very much, Femi. Thank you very much for that explanation about why exactly we need to do inventory management, right? Why exactly do we need to keep our records when it comes to inventory management? It leads me to the second question. How do you advise that business owners track inventory? It's one thing to do it right, and it's another thing to do it properly, right? And from your experience and from dealing with clients, and I really want you to be practical and give case studies about this question. Like, how do you advise that business owners track their inventory? And that's something that is very important. Like, okay, how do I track it? Femi.
Ordinary, thank you, Steve, for that question. Majorly, I will talk about process here. If you're in the business, you must have a process of how you keep your records. First, your inventory comes in, you have to keep your proper record of the items you purchase. So for every life cycle, for each stage in the life cycle of your business, there must be proper recording. When you purchase an inventory, you have to keep records. When it's delivered, when you have to keep proper records. By the time you even distribute to different outlets, proper record needs to be kept as well. And at the same time, when you are even transferring from one outlet to the other, because at times one outlet might not have the products that a customer might be requesting for. You need to transfer from one outlet to the other, or one location to the other. So proper record needs to be kept for you to be able to manage everything. So, and at the same time, you need to be building a product list of all inventory. So you must have, as I mentioned earlier on, I have a business owner that does not that have invested like a multi-millionaire into a business and does not have product list up to date, does not even know it. It was when we actually come in that we could actually help her out. So, and at the same time, I will actually advise any business to go to automate your process.
Okay.
Like, let's imagine, as I mentioned before, that you have businesses which peradventure you as a business owner, you are pursuing different contracts. You might have people that you've delegated responsibility into. You on your own should be able to manage what was going on operational wise. But how can you do it? If you automate the process, you can do it. You automate everything anywhere you are, you follow up with what is going on in your business. And this will actually help you to be able to make a proper business decision as at when needed.
Thank you very much, Femi. That was quite insightful, right? The ways to track businesses like business. And, I see this last point here. You said categorize your inventory for easy identification. Can you explain more on this? When you talk about categorizing inventory for easy identification, what does it mean?
Thank you, Steve, for the question. You have to categorize your inventory. Like a customer, sorry for all these things, but I just have to make use of my experience in the field.
No, yeah, go on.
Good. Provincial, if you enter a business, is what I've witnessed in the past. You enter the warehouse, as they are delivering from the container, you just put everything without proper arrangements. If you are going to help you out, even to manage your stock, the first thing you do, you have to arrange everything. And ordinarily, if you are going to do it, you should be able to section it. This is my product line. Like, let's imagine we have people that are into drinks. We have pastry. You should be able to know this for pastry, I have this. You should be able to arrange everything either on a row or in the column in your warehouse. So for easy access, because if it's not accessible for customers, even for you, it will be very difficult to manage. So, and if possible, you tag them. So you arrange it properly. You make sure that on this row, I have this. On this row, I have this. You can just put it possibly at the entrance. You can have like a A4 paper, which you just write everything. That will just have okay, let's imagine you enter like your bookshelf. You'll be able to know, okay, you label all your files. So you can say, okay, from A to E is on the shelf, from F to J is on the shelf. You understand what I mean? So that's how you use your product based on the product, the business, the line you are into. That will determine how you are going to categorize everything. And peradventure, you have any challenges doing that. It's part of the added value that we render to our services. We are available to do that as well.
Thank you very much, Femi. Thank you very much. I just want to, while you were speaking, it came to my mind, right? Now, when I go to a mall, something like, let's say ShopRite, or, you see labels, you see categories of items, right? There's the baby product, the groceries place, there's the drink section. Is that an example of, categorizing inventory? Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Femi. The next question, right? We about inventory management um, process and data flow, right? And this is like a graph. Can you explain? When you were explaining this thing, you actually talked about this. Or can we give a more explanation on this flow?
You have to do a stock take. So you have your record of what you order for, and you have to confirm what is actually physically delivered to you before you even start selling at all. You have to confirm that whether it's complete or not before you actually, then you move to sales. You understand what I mean? That's the last thing. And at the same time, I will encourage that you do proper, periodic stock take, either weekly or monthly basis, that will help you to confirm the available stock in your inventory, in your warehouse.
Like, I remember having a discussion with someone, he said, every Monday morning they do stock reconciliation and stuff like that. So I presume that stock reconciliation means, making sure that what is in your book is what is in the stock, right? Am I right or wrong?
Exactly. I have businesses like that. Every Monday morning, the first thing they do after their prayer, they count what is available. And I'm telling you, I have a customer. She preferred to not to even attend to customer. I have attend to our customer that day. She needs to reconcile what has been done in the previous week before she move on to the new week. So, and before you can actually do your stock take, your stock reconciliation, the first thing you have to do your stock take to confirm what is physically available as at that time. So definitely stock take is very important.
Yeah, thank you very much, Femi. Thank you very much, Femi. I think that's I'm not an accountant, right? But from what you are saying and from what I've learned so far, I presume that we can, when we do a reconciliation, let's say weekly, every Monday, we can know our exact for the past week, right? When we put in our cost price and the selling price, and we calculate how much products we have sold over time, we can get the profits for the last week. Am I right?
Ordinarily, when you check what was purchased and what was actually sold, you will have, based on the book value, you will have the finished goods, like the closing stock as at that Monday morning. That's the closing stock. And now you need to count what is available physically. Then you compare what is physically available to the closing stock that you have based on your book record. If there is any discrepancy, then you have to investigate.
Okay. So, discrepancies, you mean like if products are missing?
Exactly. If it doesn't agree, let's imagine you're talking about Indomie now, like provincial, let's use agreement size, which I believe you will like as well. So when you compare the numbers that you purchased, you brought in, let's imagine like you brought in like 500, and you check your record so far regards to sales so far is, let's say like 200. So by the time you remove what has been sold from what was purchased, you have like 300 balance based on your record. That's the closing stock as per book record. Now, when you count what is available that very Monday morning, you should agree with what you have, that 300. And if it's lower than that, that means you need to ask your either store manager or your sales rep, you need to ask them questions and they have to give accounts. That's a very good, important, another important of inventory management.
So from what you've said, right, and from the explanation, I think I understand that, I also call theft, in the sense that when your people in the market or your employees are stealing from you, you can know that from the proper records that you keep, right?
This is a very is part of the challenges that businesses are actually facing in the markets. I mentioned when I was talking initially, I said privilege. Sales reps are actually stealing from their business owners. I remember last year when I did a reconciliation for one of my customers. They are actually into where warehouse tools. Let me not deceive you. By the time we check the amount that this customer has lost, she has lost over 4 million naira.
Wow.
This woman was telling me, say, Femi, please, this report, my husband must not know about it.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, immediately she get that report, she needs to arrest all her sales rep.
Wow.
And she have to use that report at the police station for further investigation. So this is very crucial. If not, it can crumble your business if not properly done.
Thank you very much, Femi. Thank you very much. I just want to, take a break and, interact with people that, if I see people are dropping questions in the chat box, there's someone to take, your questions when you ask questions. So if you have questions, feel free to drop it in the chat box, right? We'll take note of it and attend to it when it's time for answer. And if you are following, right, you can just, drop an emoji in the chat box to let us know that you are following and you are enjoying the session. Thank you very much. So moving on to the next, question. Question. You said, what is a stock count and why is it important, right? And I know we are going to talk briefly on this because from the previous explanations, right, I presume I already understand why we need to count our stock or reconcile, but let's just give, brief explanation.
All right, Steve, I could.
Apologies for that. I think I just went off for a minute. So as I was explaining, right, I said, ordinarily from your explanations, right, I can understand why we count our stock. And one of the most important reasons that, and one of the most important points that I've taken from you is the fact that you can curb theft, right? You can know when people are stealing from you. Even as a business owner, if you are not with your business, as long as you have let's say an inventory management software or a way to keep your inventory, you can know when someone is stealing from you. But can we give a brief explanation of the stock counts, right? What is it and why is it important?
All right, thank you, Steve. Majorly, stock counts, majorly stock counts is for you to be able to confirm what you actually have physically. At times you can keep your records, you can prepare your records when goods are delivered to you, when you make sales, when you issue out, all those records can be kept. And you can even on record, you can be making profits. You can make each amount of profit, which is very possible. But physically, do you have such amounts of inventory among grant? That's part of the reason. Okay, like this business which I mentioned earlier on, she thought she was she was making sales, but unknowingly to her that they are actually stealing from her. I'm making sales, but to be candid, there is no money in my accounts. So first thing that we need to do is this. We need to go to the supermarket that she's actually supplying. Let's go and count what was available. At times they have even sold it and they don't pay her, telling her they have not even sold it. You understand those things? So we just have to, so definitely stock take is very, very important. For a business, that you, as a business owner, if you're not there physically every time, you might possibly outsource this role, which is very important. So first thing, you have to automate the inventory of a business, of your business. I do tell my
Hello.
Anybody's talking?
Hello.
No, I can hear you, sir. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm back online, but I don't know whether you guys are seeing me.
Okay, Mr. Toby, we can see you, sir.
Okay.
And we can also hear you.
Okay. I think
You can press.
Femi, are you there? Femi, are you there?
Yes. I can hear you.
Great. So,
Oh, okay, great,
what happened
great.
is this. Oh, great. Okay. We're majorly concerned because if I go through your profile, I could see that you have many years of experience from one organization to the other, and with how to manage inventory. Can you just tell me, please, what exactly is stock counts and why is it actually important to any business?
Okay, like you. Of survival of any business. Why am I saying it's survival? Because stock taking after some organization can decide to have stock taken on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a biannual basis. It depends on the size of the organization. For example, if we are talking about organizations such like a distributing or a distributor company, I believe quickly the level of your stock and to make sure that there is no form of theft that is happening in such an organization by the staff or any other party. Because if you don't have proper stock taking, how will you be able to know the level of your stock? Where I'm talking about, whereby what's your opening stock for a week and what's your closing stock for the end of the week, going into another week. So if there's no stock taking, you will not be able to track the movement of your goods. We are in the business to make money, of course, whereby we can sell our products or whatever we are doing to our customers. But if you are selling and you don't know the volume at which you are selling and a proper stock taking is not put in place, before you know, such business can come to an end because you will not be able to know the profitability of such business.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for that. In the case of video books, right? In the case of video books, and the normal routine, can you give us like a process of are you
the stock taking
the duration of a week, right? How do you stock count and what is the effect of it on the business?
Okay, thanks for the question. At video books here, we are more like a distributor company. We are into consumable items. Name it. Even we do sell pasta products, just to mention a few. So these are items, mostly the two I mentioned are of high investment items. Because, for example, a bag of sugar can go is up to like 29,000, 28,000, depending on the price that is on play at that particular time. So at Digibooks, what we do is we do our stock taking on a weekly basis so that we know our stock position every week. Because at the beginning of the week, we tend to look at our previous closing stock, that which will represent our opening stock for another new week. As a result of that, once we have our opening stock for that new week, before we opening balances for the new week, then cross-check it with whatever representation he has, because he on his own also do have some kind of recording. We call it a bin card for the numerous types of products that we have. So, for example, on that bin card, if we are starting for another new week, let's say we are having 200 bags of flour now, then that exact 200 bags of flour should be what will be represented on his bin card. Not just 200 bags represented on his bin card. The physical stock in the warehouse also has to be right, first with his bin card and with the figure I have on my system. That's where Bmac has also made it very easy for me. I do not need to start counting physical stock in the warehouse. At a glance, whereby I log into my sales outlet on Digibooks, I can determine the volume of stock I have at a glance. So once I have that, whatever figure is big, it must correlate with what I have with the system. I must correlate with what is in the warehouse. So the process there at Digibooks, we tend to make sure that if there are even any challenges or any gap, we tend to identify it on time and resolve it on time. Are you with me?
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. We've discussed and about points, right? But in your own case, in the case of Digibooks, how often should from your own experience and from what works for you, how often do you think a business should stock count?
Like I said, it depends on the size of the organization. It depends on the size of the organization, but more or less, like a distributed company that we are, we can make sure that we do stock taking on a weekly basis. That will be very effective. But if you are talking about a manufacturing company that is of a bigger size, there was a time I was working with such company. What we do is that we do take stock count at every month, because the volume at which such business is operating is on a high pace. So there will not be room for you to stop production, for example, and say you want to do your stock taking. Even that one that comes up at the end of the month. For example, you have to shut down production for the people that are responsible for the stock taking to be able to take accurate stock of what they have as a closing stock of the previous month before they start another new month. So stock taking, it depends on the size of the organization. And more so, if we have, if it is more like a distributed company like us, a weekly stock taking is very effective and which is the best.
Yeah, I agree with you, sir. So moving on, right? We are trying to be practical, right? And I'm just going to stop these questions and ask you practical questions, right? In the case of your business and how other people can learn from your own experience and from your own modus operandi, right? He said, what are the things that a business owner need to do before a stock count? In your own case, right? Yeah. What are the things you need that your checklist you need to put in check before you start a stock count?
Okay. Thanks for the question. For example, here at VigiBooks, what we do before every stock count is I tend to send a message either by mail or through social media, WhatsApp, to my respective storekeeper, letting them know that all stocks must be well arranged, well labeled, and for easy counting. For example, a particular line of product, I expect that whenever I get there must be a tag on that product. You should be able to let me know that this particular product that has been assembled here, it has a serial number from 1 to 100. So if I'm looking at that particular assembly of product, I should be able to know that, okay, you start this 1 to 100. Then by the time I do my physical count on it, I should be getting 100. So this makes stock taking easy. It's not that you want to start having stock taken out. It's when you get there, whoever is responsible of the warehouse or the storekeeper will now start arranging. It will make it more tedious and more stressful for easy stock taking to be put in place.
Yes.
So before you come for stock taking, make sure whoever is responsible for your warehouse or responsible for your store must have been able to put it all the products to be well arranged and in a serial manner that you can easily pick the line of items you have on a particular assembly, and you are able to name the products in question, so that at the end of the day, you people can come together and reconcile whatever you have taken in stock for that day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So, moving down to this very important question, I think is the question that is in my mind. Anytime I see the topic, when I see the topic, just this particular question in my mind, and I think that people online want to know the answer to this question. How can inventory management lead to your business profitability? And what's the connection? How does you keeping? How does it translate to profit? Right? What's the connection? I believe that Mr. Alade is agreeing with me, right? That that's the question on his mind. How can inventory management lead to business profitability? Can you give us that link? In summary before we go to the poll, and we're about to round up the session. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the question. As regards that particular question, automatically it will relate and will bring about profitability to your business. Why am I saying this? One, it will help you to minimize wastage. It will help you to what? Minimize wastage, because it's not just that you order for ordering sake. You will be able to know whatever stock level you have before you can say you want to order another or purchase another goods. So one, if you are able to determine your stock level, that will determine whether or not at this stage I should do a reorder for a particular line of products. By so doing, this aspect will help you to minimize wastage. Secondly, it will also give your customers a sense of confidence that there's no time I get to this particular organization, whatever I have in mind or projected to buy from them, I get it. It's not that when you get to a particular organization, I need A and B, and you are telling me you don't have A, you don't have B, it's only C. So you are limiting it with the option of C. Because if a proper inventory management has been put in place, such will not happen. Because you are no more giving your customer those confidence that whenever they need goods at a glance, they can get it. So, for example, benefits of inventory management will make sure that you give your customer a sense of confidence, because you must have done your reorder level and every other systematically in a way that there's no product that will not be available at real time for your customers. Then thirdly, if you can be able to give your customers such confidence, automatically it will increase your sales. Your sales will increase because customers tend to believe that there's nothing that they ask of you that you cannot give them. And as a result, they are selling, and your sales is increasing numerically, which is very good for any organization. So, and again, if you have a proper inventory management system, whereby for visibles, for example, I'm bringing visibles here, in here because, for example, on a particular business day, at the end of business for each day, we can ascertain our profitability ratio. Where am I saying this? On Bmac, there's a field whereby they call it profitability report.
Yes, sir.
That profitability report, it has variations of features. For example, the line item, the serial number, the name of the product, the cost price at which you inputted those goods into your system, and the selling price of that particular organization. Automatically, for example, I have my cost price, I have my selling price. On Bmac, for example, this as a result, let's say a product now, I got it for 200 naira and I'm selling it at 300 naira. Within that line of business, the profit I have there is 100 naira. So it will go down all the line items. And at the end of the day, I can be able to say, at the end of business for today, the profit that I can ascertain that I have is so margin, 20,000, 30,000, and the like. So those are the basic necessity of one to have a good inventory management system whereby it will also benefit business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. That was quite insightful and educative, right? And I can begin to see the link between, management and, business profitability, and it's quite educative. And to me, to know that, when you keep proper records and when you keep proper inventory, even in our discussion, in the discussion before you came in with Femi, thank you very much for your input. We talked about how we can curb theft through inventory when your occupier is stealing from you or when products are missing. And most importantly and very interesting, you can also know when products are expiring, right? So you can we can minimize loss, and that is what every business should look forward to. To minimize loss. When you minimize loss, you increase your profits, and that's the link between inventory management and business profitability. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your input. Now we have to move on, to the poll section, and just for us to have an interaction with the people that are on board, the people that are online at the moment, right? And I'm going to push a poll. Just select.
Sorry, Steve. Hi. Can we? I wanted to ask a question. Can we get that person's question and then we can take the poll?
Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. So we have questions. People have dropped questions in the chat box, and my colleague Dami is on top of it. So I'm just going to leave the stage for her to manage the session. Damilola, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my question is this. I experienced something like some months ago. It happens that these staffs, they do sell the products in the shop, and and they will go outside and buy that same product and replace it. So how do someone, how can someone dictate that? Like, I don't understand. How can someone dictate that, and how can we do it, stuff like that?
The question, if I get you right, you said some of your staff who sell off, maybe staff will sell off a particular product and still go back and get such product back into the.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I got.
Yeah, that's his question, sir. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, without the consent. Yeah, without the
of the organization, without the consent of the owner. Okay, like we have
organization. Yeah,
organization. Yeah. Now, those are one of the things we said that it depends on the size of the organization. A weekly something can be replaced for an organization. Product and sell off and bring in another one. So, as a matter of fact, you can even go further apart from the stock count. For example, each product that is supplied to a particular organization also comes in with a batch number. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
It comes in with a batch number. So, for example, that particular item that you must have received into your warehouse, all the batch number will be finally the same. So now to dictate not only doing stock count, as a result of doing stock count, you could easily also dictate that a particular line of product is missing. That's one. Should in case the same person also replace the items before it becomes obvious, if you can also painstakingly also make sure that you look at the batch number on each of the products. Once you detect that a particular product its batch number is different from the other ones, that means you can easily hold whoever is responsible for such stocks to come and take a proper account why that has come into play. Do you get me?
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toby.
Welcome.
Mr. Rotimi, I hope that your question was perfectly answered. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, so I'm just going to go on with the rest of the questions. Miss Igbeno, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrongly, but let me just go with Ifi. She asked a question, for an NGO, what's their inventory? She also asked, can inventory be tangible or non-tangible? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ifi. Mr. Toby, did you get the question?
Yes. For example, the first question, what is an inventory, right? Is that not the question?
For an NGO, what's their inventory? Mr. Ifi wants to know what's the inventory for a non-governmental organization.
Okay. For example, inventory as it relates to organization, from one organization to the other differs. But I will only just give you an idea of an inventory. An inventory is such a stock of any item or resource that an organization uses for its transaction on a daily basis. Now, it now differs on the organization here. For example, some organizations like manufacturing companies deal with like raw materials or spare parts components as required of such organization. Then when we are now talking at a distributing company, can also come in terms of finished products. These are inventories. But as per NGO, it now depends on what the NGO in question is offering on a day-to-day organization. So from there, just like I've clearly identified that it differs from organization to organization. So in an NGO, it must be something that they are delivering on offer to their customers. That will also be answers on what we can get out of such inventory. Hope you got me on that.
So to add to that, he also asked if inventory can be tangible or non-tangible.
Inventory, yeah, we are talking account for. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Toby. Mr. Isi, I hope Mr. Toby answered your question. I'll be moving on to the next question. From Sam. And this question, Mr. Femi. Are you on the call, Mr. Femi?
Yes, I'm on the call.
Okay, great. So Sam wants to know, what is the reconciliation?
All right, thank you very much for that question. Okay, what happened is the reconciliation is when you are reconciling the balance or the closing balance on your book record to comparing it to what you have physically available as at that time. And before you can really know what you have as closing balance on your book record, you need to compare what you purchased, your total purchase, you remove your sales from it, and all your transfer that you've done either directly from the business, you have to remove from it. Then by that, you have the closing balance. And at the same time, you now have to count what you have on ground, which is physically available. Now compare it to what you have on your book. If there is any difference, then I mentioned earlier on, you need to have questions. So ordinarily, you should agree with what you have on your record based on what you discover as a closing stock. But if it doesn't agree, you need to ask for of why it's not so.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Femi. Mr. Sam, I hope Mr. Femi has answered your question. You can let us know that okay, you said thanks, so great. Mr. Ifi also asked, this question is for Mr. Femi as well. Mr. Ifi also asked, how do you mitigate against human error, even though you are using a software for your inventory management?
Thank you very much, Femi.
Mr. Femi.
Oh, great. Okay,
you're
no
welcome.
problem. What happened is, for you to be able to mitigate that human error, ordinarily, by the time you are using a software like inventory management system, like Bmac, it will automatically reduce the human error. And remember that all these items, most of them are barcoded. So a lot of human error will be reduced, either when you are uploading all these items. And a lot of products are similar, talking about names, but they are barcoding, that barcode will be different. So if peradventure you are using Bmac, you'll be able to upload, because you'll be able to scan from the section, and the barcode will be attached to that same product. And at the point of sales, you are going to scan, and because you are going to use that code to sell, it will reduce that human error a lot. So you'll be able to have a reliable report when needed.
Sorry, apologies. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi and Mr. Ifi. I hope that answered your question. So I'm taking this question from Ms. Olajumoke, and this is for Mr. Toby. Mr. Toby, this question is for you. What is the best way to carry out stock counts in a retail business, particularly a supermarket, looking at the volume of the inventory? Hello? Mr. Toby, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes.
Okay, so I said, what is the best way to carry out stock counts in a retail business, specifically a supermarket, looking at the volume of inventory?
Come again with the question, sorry.
Okay, what is the best way to carry out stock counts in a retail business, specifically a supermarket, looking at the volume of the inventory?
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that question. When we are talking about a retail supermarket, now to take a proper inventory, because we always know that such a business is always busy, consumers are coming in and coming out. There must be a time frame that has been set out by the organization to do a proper stock count for a duration of time at which we don't affect the business for that day. So most of the items on the shelves, like you have them in the supermarket, they would have been well arranged. Then, on stock counting will go there, take note of each of those stocks on the shelf. And I believe they also have at their back end stocks that are yet to be brought out for sale. So holistically, a supermarket has to do more or less like a day-to-day inventory on their sales to be sure of particular items that have been taken off the shelf, and to be sure that they are also in book as per when they started business for that day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I still also wanted to answer this question from Mr. E. Are you able to break down your operating inventory into 3 major categories when reporting level replenishment? When reporting level safety and replenishment.
When reporting level safety and replenishment.
Level safety and replenishment.
If I get the question right, for you to replenish any of your stock, there must have been a proper and effective inventory management system that must have been put in place for you to know your reorder level. That's one point. For you to know your reorder level as such that you don't just get goods into the warehouse for the sake of buying or purchasing goods. Because as a result of this will also help you to minimize wastage. Because as a result, if you have too much volume of goods in your warehouse and the goods are not a fast-moving item as such, before you know, the item can go into obsolete, whereby expiring dates are already nearby. So as a result of this, replenishment level has to be put into consideration, has to put into place an efficient and proper inventory management system to enable you to determine source. I think that's not the question. Is there another one?
Yes, just one last one. Do you perform root cause analysis on excess and obsolete stock and know how they are linked to action plans? And yes, I know.
Okay. For example, if we are looking at the obsolete cost, for example, there was a time we had products that were running close to the expiring date, which we had to fashion out a way as for how we get those goods out of our warehouse on time, in order to make sure that at the long run, it does not turn into wastage at our own hand. what we can relatively do there, because we have in an economy whereby the prices change from time to time. As a result of this, you'll be able to determine that, okay, I bought this particular product at so cost. Maybe you bought it for a sum of 500 naira, and currently it moves from a cost of sale as much as 1,000 naira. And you discover that the expiring or the obsolete time frame required on the product is nearby. You can as well make sure that you can still derive your profit as well to encourage more of your prospective customers to get those goods at a lesser price, of which they will be encouraged to come around to take it, because already the price value of such a product, you cannot get it anywhere else except from you, and of which they also can also derive their profit for.
Thank you very much, Toby. So we've come to the end of the question and answer sessions, and I'll be handing over to my colleague Steven to take over from here.
Thank you very much, Damilola. I believe that we have touched and answered people that asked questions rather. So I am going to push a poll to you right now. You should be reading now. Just let's answer it within 30 seconds before we move to, before we round up this webinar. So the question is, your area of pain or concern in your inventory management process. What is the major area of pain? Missing supply or incorrect items from suppliers, poor alignment, which inaccurate estimation of market trends, a degree of missing damage expired stock, difficulty automating your inventory management process. So let's just pick. I think it has multiple choice, right? You can pick the ones that you relate with within 30 seconds, or let's say, yeah. So I'll close this up in 10 seconds now. Thank you very much for answering. Can we many people just interact with this before we close it up? We have 7 people now. 8. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to be ending this poll now, where we move to just a short video of Bmac apps and services.
Nigeria has over 40 million micro, small, and medium-sized businesses. Unfortunately, only a handful of these businesses ever grow to meet their full potential. One of the major reasons why this is the case is because SMEs hardly keep financial records. They have no idea how well or not they're doing. Are you a startup or an established business? Well, allow me introduce you to Bmac Apps and Services. Hi, my name is Sam Femi Jr. and I am the co-founder of Ikuba Technologies. At Ikuba, we have created a number of solutions specifically for business owners or managers that will help you keep better records of your financial transactions. First and foremost, we created the Bmac Accounting. The Bmac Accounting is a cloud-based accounting software that is easy to use. You can record your daily transactions using its notebook or post directly into the system. You can also collaborate with your accountants who can then go on to post these records into your various accounts. From there, you can generate your statement of comprehensive income, also known as a profit and loss account, showing profits or losses in a financial trading period. You can also generate your statement of financial position, also known as your balance sheet. You can also have a look at your debtors and creditors using the debtor and creditor listing, respectively. Bmac Accounting is great for startups, business owners, and managers who want to see where their business is at a certain point in time. I like to call it a kind of navigational system. There is also a dashboard where you can see how your business is faring at any point in time. We also created the Bmac Inventory Management Software, or the IMS, a cloud-based inventory management solution for merchants and vendors. The IMS allows you to track your inventory by capturing what you buy, the amounts you buy, the prices you bought them at, and what prices you sold them at, thereby giving you the ability to calculate your profit on a particular day or for a particular product category. The Bmac IMS also allows you to estimate or calculate how much waste may have occurred by virtue of expiry dates coming to pass. Bmac Ims Desktop. We also have the Bmac Ims Desktop, or the Ims Desktop as we like to call it. The desktop is just like the IMS web, just that it is made for vendors and merchants who do not have internet coverage, as is the case in a lot of our indigenous markets here in Nigeria. The IMS web and desktop work hand in hand. When you enter records in the IMS desktop, you can synchronize that information with your IMS web. It's great for businesses as it helps them to keep better records and keep track of their inventory, whether they have internet connectivity or not. Then there is the Bmac Assistant, our mobile app. Now I love this app because it helps bring benefits of the Bmac Accounting and IMS all into one place. How? Very simple. We've basically taken the key information from both systems and we've replicated it all in one application. Now, this is great for entrepreneurs who are always on the go. You basically get your employees, your managers, or your shop assistants to use the Bmac Accounting or the Bmac IMS, and all that information synchronizes into the mobile app. With the assistant, you can view all your key business information on the go. We also built the Bmac Invoicing App. This is great for Instagram retailers, shop owners, and even freelancers. The Bmac Invoicing App comes in various currencies, so you can bill clients around the world. You can also receive payments via payments accounts and wallets. Another great feature is that Bmac Invoicing helps you keep track of who owes you money and who has paid in full or in part. Bmac apps and services are designed specifically for startups, small and medium-sized businesses. Whatever type of business you operate in whichever industry, record keeping and financial records are very important. You can get started with Bmac today by calling our numbers on the screen right now. You can also follow us on social media. Our handles are at Bmac HQ. That's at BMAC HQ on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn.
Thank you very much for watching that, and thank you very much for staying through till the end of this session. So before we round up, right, I just want us to, hear a few words from Mr. Toby. Right, Toby is one of the clients that was one of our clients that used, the Bmac IMS, and he keeps talking about how Bmac IMS makes his work easy, right? And Femi on his own end also has onboarded some clients, a lot of clients actually, to use Bmac IMS, and they also talk about how Bmac IMS help their business, right, in managing their inventory, and it makes it automated. So I'm going to give Mr. Toby just 40 seconds, talk about just high level how Bmac IMS, the influence of Bmac IMS on
Okay, thank you for having me. Bmac activities are very beneficial to us. One of the features I like the most.
Go on, sir. Go on, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one of the features I like the most on Bmac is issue stock. For example, as currently we have two outlets whereby we can determine the volume of our stock at a glance on Bmac to know the level of stock at each plant. And for example, if we want to have like an inter-transaction within the company, whereby moving a particular product from outlet A to outlet B, we could also go into issue stock, all the parameters there, whereby the source location could be outlet A, and the beneficial location could be outlet B. So before you go on the system, automatically we manually execute it, and we have achieved our goal, whereby each movement of our stock is well tracked, and there's no issue of how did the stock move from here to the other. So Bmac has been very useful in terms of tracking our goods, and especially the movement of goods from one particular location to the other.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Toby, for that. Mr. Toby has been using Bmac IMS for 2 years now, if I'm correct. You know, it's something that they look. Sir? Yeah, and it's something for to making sure that they keep their business profitable. Femi as well, and on the screen right here is one of the flyers of VG Books. What are the things that the products that they distribute, their location, and also their contact, in case they're open for partnerships, and look forward to getting products in bulk and in wholesale. They are the right plug for you. Femi, I want you to speak. Just 20 seconds. What are the feedback you've gotten from clients that you've onboarded on Bmac IMS? Just quick high level. Go on, Femi.
What our customers are giving us as feedback based on what we've enjoyed so far from Bmac. Number one, they're able to get their reports on timely basis. As a business owner, they're able to get their reports, and at the same time, they are able to manage their businesses in all their locations, either within Lagos or outside Lagos or outside Nigeria as well. They're able to manage it at a glance. So it helps them to be able to cut a lot of losses, which have actually increased their level of profitability. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Femi, for that. That's short and apt. Right, and one of the key weapon of a business owner, is the ability for him to get reports. The ability for you to see an overview, get an overview of your business as it is at the moment, and that's what Bmac IMS gives to you. Thank you very much, Mr. Toby. Thank you very much, Femi. It has been nice having you here. Thank you very much for the GMD for this opportunity to host this webinar. Thank you for the CEO. Thank you, the CEO, for giving us this opportunity as well to host this webinar. I also want to recognize our general manager, in person of Madam Rashida. Thank you for your support and making it happen. To my colleague and people at the back end that make this possible as well. Dami, Emmanuel, thank you very much for your efforts, and thank you everyone for participating in this webinar session as well. We will say the link to this webinar recording will be sent to you in an email, and our sales representative as well will reach out to you. In any case you have questions or you need to make inquiries and all stuff like that. Thank you very much for this session. Goodbye to you. Thank you, Mr. Toby. Thank you, Femi.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Great job, guys.